everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. This looks kind of dark, so I'm just gonna adjust the light a little bit. Sorry. This is the first time I've ever done a Facebook Live, so bear with me. I'm trying to get things reasonably lit so I don't look spooky or weird. I don't know. I suppose that's okay. Let's see. That seems okay. Can everybody see me okay? The reflection on my glasses. There we go. So, hiya. Thank you for joining me. I'm really surprised that there's actually 3 people watching. So, hello, 3 people. Right. So, tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about vegan makeup. And if you've read my blog post that I posted earlier this week about vegan ingredients, well, actually, the blog post itself was about non-vegan ingredients, and some of them were pretty gross, especially the one that was basically the anal secretions from a beaver, which is not only used in perfume, but is also used as an artificial vanilla flavoring. So if you buy like really cheap vanilla ice cream, it could possibly have that. Oh, I've lost people. Well, that's okay. So anyways, basically some people have sent me some questions in. Hi, Katie. Some people have sent me some questions in, so I thought I'd chat a little bit about vegan makeup tonight and what makes it different from just cruelty-free makeup and that kind of thing. So what are my favorite vegan brands and products? So basically, it depends on what I'm using it for. Obviously, in my kit, I try to go for really quality products that are long lasting. So I like to use Illamasqua and Charlotte Tilbury. Now, they're not completely vegan brands, but they're both cruelty free and they have lots and lots of vegan options. I like to use, well, Illamasqua, their brushes are completely vegan, so you'd be 100% safe buying their brushes. And they're very good quality synthetic brushes, but we'll talk more about brushes in a minute. And I like to use ColourPop when I can get it, so I order that from the States, or I buy it when I'm there in America. And some of their products are vegan, some of them are not, and they have a very useful list of products that aren't vegan on their website. So if you want to know which ones to avoid, you can avoid those. But they're a really good quality brand. Again, quite cheap drugstore brand in America, but I absolutely love their lipsticks. I love their eyeshadows. They're a little indie brand. Everything's made in small batches. You know, you're getting good quality stuff. So I would definitely recommend ColourPop for a good range of vegan makeup there. Zoeva, again, another brand that I love, which is a European brand. They do some makeup that is vegan. So again, you need to kind of consult their website to have a look at their list of what is vegan and what isn't. But they do a fantastic range of vegan brushes, which I use in my kit and I really, really love. The vegan brushes are really excellent quality synthetic bristles. Just couldn't recommend them enough. And in terms of a brand that is completely vegan, this might come as a surprise, but Elf, which you can buy in Superdrug, and it's cheap as anything, like super duper cheap. Elf is completely vegan, and I swear by their mascara. Their mascara is fantastic. I buy their waterproof mascara. That's what I use in my kit for all my weddings, for all my night out makeups. It doesn't smudge, it doesn't flake. It is the blackest black mascara that you can get out there, and it doesn't clump. It's fantastic. It's a really great mascara. So I would really, really recommend that Elf mascara. And it comes in, I think it's about £4 or £4.50. It's so cheap, but it's so good as well. All right, Lavinia, what eyeshadows? I just briefly talking about ColourPop. They have some vegan eyeshadows, although a lot of their eyeshadows aren't vegan. You'd have to have a look at their list of products. The same with Charlotte Tilbury and Illamasqua. I would recommend them. I haven't tried their skincare, Katie, the Elf skincare, but I will definitely give that a try. I am really interested in some of their primers, so I'm going to have a look at them a bit more. I mean, I've only really bought like some lipsticks and the mascara from them for my kit that I've used on myself and in my kit. But yeah, I just, Elf is really good quality considering the price of it. It's cheap as anything. So there is also Bee at Superdrug, which is Superdrug's own brand. And again, completely vegan across the board. I haven't had a go of their product yet, but my friend Chantel told me that their skincare is pretty good. So I'm going to have a little look at them and maybe treat myself to some bits to try out as well. But the entire range of that is vegan. So again, if you know the entire range is vegan, you can't go wrong. And all of these brands that I've just talked about are cruelty free as well. And that's really important, that you want to make sure that they're not only vegan but cruelty free, because you will see brands that are marked as vegan, which means that they use vegan ingredients, but that doesn't mean that the product isn't tested on animals. So if it's obviously if it's tested on animals, is it really vegan? That's up to you to decide, and you decide if that's a priority for you, if that's something that really bothers you. Right. So another question I was asked is, what makes brushes vegan? Because some people are like, aren't brushes vegan? Like, they're not made of eggs or dairy or cheese. Although I would enjoy a cheese makeup brush. So essentially, a vegan brush is made with synthetic hair and bristles and not animal hair. So if you're being completely vegan, you're not using any animal-based products. So, people who are completely vegan don't wear leather, they don't use wool, silk, any kind of animal-derived product, and that includes animal hair. So in terms of makeup brushes traditionally have been made out of animal hair. So you get things like goat hair, which makes a good quality brush, cheaper hair from like horse hair, boar bristle, that kind of thing. And some of the higher quality brushes are made with squirrel hair, believe it or not, from squirrel tails. So you can imagine how soft and delicate those brushes are. But those are kind of like your more expensive brands that use hair like that. But typically makeup brushes are made with goat's hair. Now obviously the animals aren't killed for that, but who can tell us how they're getting that hair? I mean, I don't know. And I worked for a makeup brand for nearly 10 years, and I've got no idea where the hair came from. So synthetic is the way to go. Now there's lots and lots of really excellent quality synthetic brushes now, much more so than there were, say, 10, 15 years ago. Real Techniques was one of the first brands to come out with completely synthetic range that were really, really high quality. But in my opinion, the quality of those brushes has gone downhill over the last few years as they've gained popularity. It seems they started being produced, I suppose, more mass produced, and they've lost a bit on the quality there, in my opinion. So I don't really recommend them as much now, although they may have changed. Zoeva, as I mentioned before, they do a range of vegan brushes, which are fantastic, really excellent quality synthetic brushes that they blend and apply the same as natural hair brushes. My Kitco is another a brush company that I personally use a lot of their products, and their synthetic range is excellent as well and really, really good quality. I mean, My Kit Co is owned by James Malloy, who's a great makeup artist, and he really, really knows what he's talking about. He really knows what he's doing with his brushes, and they're excellent quality, and they're not super, I mean, they're not crazy expensive. They are up there, maybe a little bit more than say like your Real Techniques and stuff, but the quality, it will last you. It's an investment. So those are some suggestions anyways for synthetic hairbrushes, and I hope that that's helpful. A vegan setting spray, Lavinia. Elf do a range of setting sprays, which I've had a go at, and I actually quite like them. So I would recommend the Elf one if you're looking for a vegan setting spray. I haven't, I think setting sprays have become kind of much of a similar thing. No matter what the price is, they all seem to be really great quality now. So Elf would definitely work well there. Something else I get asked a lot about, which I wanted to touch on tonight, is talking about parent companies. So I did discuss that in my blog post, and I put like an infographic there, which showed kind of what brands are owned by what companies, which is really surprising. And the whole thing is that the big companies such as Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, Shiseido, LVMH, Coty, they all own lots and lots and lots of smaller brands, and some of them might surprise you, but even though the smaller brands may not test on animals from the brand point of view, so Urban Decay, which broadcasts that they don't test on animals, Too Faced, let me think who else, Aveda, Origins, these are all brands that you think of as being kind of traditionally cruelty-free, not testing on animals, vegan friendly, and that kind of thing. But they're owned by larger companies such as Estee Lauder and L'Oreal, LVMH, Coty, Unilever, Shiseido. And these companies are testing in China for their bigger brands that they are selling in China. And I mean, it's just business. The Chinese market is huge, and beauty is massive in China. So, they don't want to miss out an opportunity to make money. But unfortunately, it is money over ethics. And I've seen some photographs of the animals that get tested on in China, and the kind of testing that goes on there. And it's sad. I mean, if you look at it, you would definitely think twice before you support those companies anymore. I did a poll on my Instagram asking people if they considered a brand cruelty-free if they were owned by a parent company that retailed in China and sold and supported animal testing in China. And an overwhelming majority, it was over 80%, said no, they didn't want to support those brands. So I am actively not using those brands anymore in my kit, because I want to make sure that my clients are happy, and I'm looking after your best interest. And I mean, I agree to a point with that. I also think that by supporting those cruelty-free brands that exist under the big umbrella of these parent companies, they'll see that cruelty-free is what people want, and that there is a market for it, and hopefully then they'll change their policies over time. But realistically, I think we all know how capitalism works, and that's probably not going to happen. So I'm going to have to find a decent replacement for Urban Decay Eden Primer. If anybody knows one, please let me know. And just a word about vegan brands and products in general. It's just always make sure you do your research. Find out who owns the brand overall, because it might not just be a small independent brand. Find out what ingredients are, in that, because products aren't always labeled as vegan friendly and the information might not be out there. So arm yourself with a bit of research and a bit of education about ingredients that may or may not be vegan friendly. I mean, I had no idea about some of the ones I listed in my blog. And I'm a bit of a makeup geek, so I know a lot about ingredients and stuff, especially after working for Estee Lauder for 9.5 years. I really knew my ingredients, and I mean, I knew about ambergris, which is whale vomit, as being a key ingredient in quite a few of their perfumes, which we always thought was gross, but how are you going to sell that to people? You just don't tell them that it's whale vomit, but it's a very precious and expensive ingredient in perfumes, apparently, it just seems very strange to me, but hey ho. And I was very pleased to find out when I was doing my research that Charlotte Tilbury's perfume, Scent of a Dream, which is one of my personal favorites, is a vegan perfume, so that's good to know. I'm not, I've been asked as well. I'm not vegan. I am vegetarian. And I have been vegetarian for 25 years this year. So, so I have been vegetarian for a very long time, and it's something that is kind of near and dear to my heart. But I do still eat dairy and eat eggs, even though I try to cut back. Right, well, I'm just going to wrap this up now. So thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to upload this to my IGTV, yeah. And I'm going to add it to my blog post as well. But yeah, if you haven't read my blog post for this week, go back and have a look on my website to find out more about those ingredients. I'm hoping to make this a weekly thing. And next week, I'm going to talk about wedding makeup and what makes wedding makeup special and how wedding makeup is different from just a normal makeup. And I can see a couple of my brides are watching, like former brides. So hi, guys. It's lovely to see you watching and supporting me. I really appreciate that. And thank you very much. And I'll see you next week. Bye.